Welcome back everyone, 𝘱𝘱𝘊𝘺𝘺 here. In today's video, I am going to be responding to the Fox Business video that was posted on December 29th. Crypto millionaires are flocking to Puerto Rico. So if you don't know this already, I've already lived in Puerto Rico for the last 4 years, and I did move because of Act 20 and 22 back in 2018. And I ended up falling in love with Puerto Rico. I only anticipated to be here for 3 years, and now I see myself here for the very long term. Puerto Rico feels like home, and for the first time in my life, I actually feel homesick when I am not in Puerto Rico. I never experienced that at any other point in my life. So, as we know, mainstream media tends to not always get the narrative accurate. And so today I'm going to be watching this short, less than 3-minute long video on what they have to say about people flocking to Puerto Rico, specifically people in the cryptocurrency space, and I'll be pointing out what my thoughts are and if there's any inaccuracies in this video. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's take a look at crypto millionaires. I don't know if you know this, but crypto millionaires are flocking to Puerto Rico. That's because if you spend at least half the year on the island, you're free of taxes on capital gains. What a deal.
That is true. But the truth is that people have been flocking to Puerto Rico because of the cryptocurrency space since 2018. But there has just been a lot more information out in the media, more mainstream media, more people finding out about the program. And you could see that reflected in the price of everything. The price of homes, the price of rent, everything is going out of control. I'm pretty sure it's more expensive to live here in Puerto Rico than it is probably Los Angeles and New York City. The prices are getting above those price ranges. For some reason, people think that Puerto Rico is a really inexpensive place to live, but that is the exact opposite, unless you want to go live up in a little hut at the top of the mountains where you will probably have a really hard time socializing.
The former Republican governor of Puerto Rico, Luis Fortuno, joins me now. Good morning to you. Governor, is Puerto Rico the new tax haven now for crypto millionaires?
Well, Stuart, if people are moving from California or New York to Florida or Texas, we want them to consider Puerto Rico as well. We are part of the U.S., we are American citizens, but we do not pay federal income tax.
So that is the main difference when it comes to Puerto Rico versus moving to any state that has no income taxes, like you mentioned, Florida, Texas. And that is because Puerto Rican residents only pay Puerto Rico taxes. They do not pay federal taxes. And what makes the Puerto Rico tax situation, now it's called Act 60, so unique is that you can actually keep your U.S. passport. You don't have to give up your U.S. citizenship, and you can pay 0 federal taxes. As we've seen, there's places like Portugal that have a very unique tax situation. They have a lot of tax advantages for people that want to move to retire there, or if they have a lot of capital gains. But the problem, as a U.S. resident, no matter where you go, you still have to pay U.S. taxes. And that's what makes Puerto Rico unique. Right now, you basically pay $10,000 annually to a nonprofit organization, and you pay 0% capital gains taxes, and you also have to pass a presence test, as well as a closer connections test, and other things like that.
We pay local taxes. And what I did during my tenure, among other things, was to promote the individual investors to move to Puerto Rico instead of Texas or Florida, for example. And if they become bona fide residents of Puerto Rico, they, as you mentioned, they will pay no taxes on dividends, income, interest income, or on capital gains accrued after they become bona fide residents.
So that is the main thing about this program, is that, let's say, for example, you bought Bitcoin for $10,000. When you move to Puerto Rico, let's say Bitcoin is $50,000, you still have to pay tax on that $40,000 gain. But what happens is, after $50,000, let's say Bitcoin goes to $100,000, you do not have to pay on that gain after moving to Puerto Rico, but you do owe taxes for all the years prior. There is a law written in there about if you basically hold that asset for 10 years. But this is what I have to say, is that Puerto Rico cannot be trusted when it comes to them constantly changing the laws. And so I would probably just pay your taxes up to that point and not be dependent that the program's going to last for 10 years, because what I've learned here is that anything can happen. They like to pull the rug out from underneath you sometimes. For example, they changed like a $250 filing fee to $5,000, and they made it retroactive like a year, like the sketchiest things that you could possibly think of. So I always think of this situation as kind of sort of temporary. Don't know how long it's going to last, but hoping that it lasts as long as they told me on my original decree, 2035.
Puerto Rico. And we have had thousands upon thousands of families moving mostly from high tax jurisdictions across America to Puerto Rico, and we were welcoming them.
Well, Governor, Puerto Rico has a poverty rate around 40%. My question to you is, what does Puerto Rico get out of it? How do those people benefit from this migration?
New capital, that's influx of capital, and jobs. On the one hand, all these people, these are type A individuals. They don't sit around watching TV all day. They want to go out and they're investing in the local economy. That's number one. And I believe in free cross-pollination, and that has been happening during the last 10 years since I signed this law, this bill into law. And secondly, jobs. And there are all sorts of jobs, from lawyers and accountants, and professionals, to people that are, attending, to restaurants and what have you. And we believe that is extremely beneficial to the island.
Less taxes, less red tape. It goes a long way, and Puerto Rico getting the benefit of that. Governor, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. We do appreciate it.
And that is exactly it. When these people come from the States, they are high net worth individuals. They are creating jobs anywhere, like he said, from professionals to people who need nannies. They need housekeepers. Let me tell you what, I'm sure that the plastic surgeon in San Juan has gotten a big increase of people from the States using him, because, just think about it in general, right? These are high net worth individuals. They have extra money to spend. They're spending it at high-end restaurants. They're spending it at just restaurants in general. They are spending a lot of money on this island, and in return, it's creating jobs for the island. Some people look at a lot of people from the States moving here as a very negative thing. But for me, if I was a local Puerto Rican, I would see it as opportunity, because these are jobs that are being created. And when people come here from the States, and they are looking for people to work for them. If you just have very basic skills like a sense of urgency, and you show up on time and you do a good job consistently over time, that actually makes you stand out in the crowd here if you are someone who wants to be employed. So it doesn't take that much to find attraction from one of these people that's moving with a company here or an investor here. And the people that come here, they're so open and they're willing to create partnerships that there's also so many business opportunities to find partners on the island when it comes to real estate and many other aspects. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.